Sarcasm, scrunchies, shoulder pads, and teen angst have never been so stylish or so deadly. Heathers is a 1988 teen black comedy crime written by Daniel Waters and directed by Michael Lehmann, both gentlemen in their respective film debuts. The film stars Winona Ryder, Icon, Christian Slater, Shannon Doherty, Lisa Ann Falker, and Kim Walker. I find it very funny that Daniel Waters originally wanted Stanley Kubrick to direct this movie, citing that he's the only one that can get away with making a 3-hour film. Babes, did we really need to make Heathers 3 hours long? Was that your plan? No, that 3 hours is pushing it. But I mean, imagine a 3-hour long Heathers movie from Stanley Kubrick. I don't know, I would have watched it. I also found out that the film was retitled Lethal Attraction in Europe in an attempt to capitalize on the success of Fatal Attraction, which came out a year earlier in 1987. Two very different movies, but go off Europe. If you've no idea what Heathers is about, allow me to give you a brief little summary. Veronica Sawyer is a teen girl just trying to survive high school in Sherwood, Ohio, which basically means sucking up to the popular clique of girls, all named Heather, because, of course. But things take a sharp left turn when she falls for JD, an indie trench coat wearing new kid with a knack for poetic brooding and murder. Together, they accidentally, but also kind of on purpose, start offing the school's social elite, disguising the deaths as unalivements. You know what I'm trying. Look, I'm gonna be saying a bunch of words, soup of sides, whatever. You know what I'm saying. YouTube is just the algorithm just don't be liking certain words. So just bear with me. The film's themes spark a very twisted conversation about teen angst, depression, and popularity. It's truly one of my favorite comedies to come out of the 80s decade. Well, I don't know if I can say the decade, kind of just like ever. I wouldn't even just boil it down to the 80s. I love this movie. It's dark, it's a cult classic. The colors are amazing. The film's lit very well, and I don't know, it's got Winona Ryder, bro. Come on. Let's get into this. I'm ready. The opening song is taking me out. Heather number 1 is tying her hair in those signature fluffy scrunchies that every woman wore in the 80s. And it's quite clear who's the HBIC here. Head bitch in charge. With the color dynamics, the girls are all playing croquet. Heather number 2 takes a shot and is like,
"Damn, it's your turn, Heather."
No, Heather, it's Heather's turn. Heather.
we are not about to do this the whole movie. Heather number 3 is reading Moby Dick, so I suppose this is the film's way of telling us that she is shy and reserved. I mean, y'all might as well put some glasses and a ponytail on her. Heather number 1 finally takes her shot and the ball hits the head of our protagonist, Veronica. Through the film, Veronica speaks to the audience through her diary entries, and the handwriting is very, it's something, I'll say that much. Heather number 2 and 3 collect Veronica by the stairs because Heather number 1 needs her assistance. This is also the first time we hear the iconic phrase, "What's your damage, Heather?"
Come on, Veronica. What is your damage, Heather?
In the cafeteria, Heather number 1 tells Veronica she wants her to forge a hot and horny, but realistically low-key note in a boy named Kurt Kelly's handwriting to slip onto a loner student's tray. The girl's name is Martha Dunstock, but everybody in the film, besides Veronica, calls her Martha Dump Truck for obvious reasons. It's like, okay. Although Veronica says she's got nothing against Martha, Heather says she's got nothing for her either. Come on, the note will give her shower nozzle masturbation material for weeks. She's sick. Heather number 1 tells number 3 to bend over because Veronica needs something to write on. Wow. At another table, Ram Sweeney and Kurt Kelly sit. Kurt's talking about how it would be so righteous to be in a Veronica Sawyer, Heather Chandler sandwich. Then Ram says he wants to get a Heather, put her on his Johnson, and spin her around like a pinwheel. V finishes the note, Heather number 2 takes it, and then she slips it on Martha's tray. Never understood how she didn't feel her arm, but whatever. Heather number 1 takes her clipboard, slithering around the cafeteria to ask her fellow students the question of the day. Right when Veronica locks eyes with a mystery boy in the corner of the room, dressed down in black watching her. This causes her to lose focus and bump into a girl with glasses and a ponytail. This is Betty Finn, an old friend of Veronica's. V apologizes for not making her birthday party last month, and after waving it off, Betty pulls out an old photograph of them as kids that she found. And I mean, damn, Veronica can't even, reminisce on it, because Heather's like, come on, ho, and then snatches her. Cut to a table where a girl named Courtney says to her clean-cut pals, oh god, here comes Heather. Hi, Courtney. I love your cardigan. Thanks. I got it last night at the Limited. Like, totally blew my allowance. So Heather's question for the day is, you win $5 million from the publisher sweepstakes. In the same day that the big Ed guy comes to write your check, aliens land on Earth and tell you they're gonna blow it up in 2 days. What do? It's the dumbest question ever. The dude across Courtney says, that's easy. I just slide that wad over to my father because he is like one of the top brokers in the state. Then Courtney's ass is like, if I got that money, I'd give it all to the homeless. Every cent. Tell another lie, bitch. Veronica is over this BS and she walks off, complaining to Heather, why can't we talk to different kinds of people?
Fuck me gently with the chainsaw. Do I look like Mother Teresa?
Can we bring that back when somebody says something you don't agree with? I'm gonna start saying that again. Everybody wants me as a friend or a fuck. I'm worshipped at Westerberg and I'm only a junior. I'm glad you're proud of that. They continued their journey to the Geek Squad table, repeating the lunchtime poll, then another table, then to the jocks. Then, wait, was that Mr. Mosby? Yes, it is. One geek says, I'd go to Egypt. With a girl, of course. Betty says she would use the money for an end-of-the-world get-together. Ram says, I'd pay Madonna $1 million to sit on my face and have her ride it like the Kentucky Derby. And a guy named Peter starts tallying up how much he'd get after taxes, legal fees, and security. See, he's the only smart one here. Martha keeps rereading the forged note before getting the chops to approach Kurt's table. The Heathers are waiting for the laughter, and Veronica is visibly upset. Which, yeah, you did this. You wrote the note, bastard. The guys read the note out loud and burst into laughter. Veronica locks eyes with the mystery boy and he's just shaking his head. Shame on you, Veronica. In the bathroom, the girls are checking themselves out in the mirror and Heather 3 asks Veronica to come in the stall with her.
Grow up, Heather. Bulimia's so 87.
I'm about to beat this bitch up.
Oh my god, babe, that is a whole mental disorder. She is the worst, actually. Also, in case I didn't say it already, Veronica's coat is fly as hell. All of her outfits, actually. We finally learn Mystery Boy's name via Heather number 2, Jason Dean. He's in her American history class. And I guess the spirits told good old Veronica to walk up to him and, just introduce yourself because that's exactly what she does.
Greetings and salutations.
And just like that, I'm turned off. I read that saying he was like quoting, the character was supposed to be quoting some book or some piece of media, but I didn't know it, so I didn't care to write it down. But still, that greetings and salutations, like, don't piss me off. When Veronica asks him the lunchtime poll question, he says exactly what I said. This is the dumbest shit ever, but he does answer it, and his final answer is, I don't know, run out in the middle of the lake somewhere, bring along a bottle of tequila, my sax, and some Bach. How poetic. Christian Slater is actually really handsome in this movie. I'll give him that much, that little something. Heather number 1 collects Veronica just as Ram decides it's time to mess with the black kid. Well, black as in like he's not like he's a black kid, but like he's wearing black, the black trench coat. So he's like the black kid. Ram sticks his fingers in JD's half-eaten pot pie, and Kurt says the laziest gay insult joke in the book. He's like, "Hey Ram, I thought there was a no fags allowed rule." "No, but they seem to have an open policy for assholes, don't they?" "What did you say, dickhead?"
I'll repeat myself.
Heather number 2 is saying how JD won't be expelled, the board will probably just suspend him for a week or something. He used a real gun. They should throw his ass in jail, Heather number 1 says. First time ever agreeing with this chick. Actually, probably the only time I've ever agreed with Heather number 1. And Veronica says that, you know, he used blanks. The only thing that JD did was ruin a few pairs of pants. Baby doll, that does not excuse the fact that this psycho brought a gun to school and then you fired. When nightfall comes, it's college party time, but Heather stops at the gas station to make Veronica grab her a pack of corn nuts. She also parks in the handicap spot because of course she would. JD teleports out of thin air asking if Veronica's gonna pull a super chug with the nuts, and she says no. "But if you're nice, I'll let you buy me a slushie." We learn Mr. JD has moved around his entire life. Dallas, Baton Rouge, Vegas, Sherwood, Ohio, and Veronica catches on that his father is Big Bud from Dean Construction. Translation, shmoney. After telling him she's on her way to a Remington University party, she says, "I don't really like my friends. It's like they're people I work with and our job is being popular and shit."
Maybe it's time to take a vacation.
When they arrive at the party, we meet 2 college guys who were the girls' dates for the night. I didn't write their names down because it's irrelevant and I don't care. Upon arriving, they tell the girls to just drop their coats on the floor. Like, huh? No, a dirty ass frat house? This is an Aliyah. Over this scene, Veronica is scribbling in her journal later that night. "Dear diary," she begins, "I want to kill, and you have to believe it's for more than just selfish reasons." Real as fuck, actually. Veronica's date is saying how great it is to be able to talk to a girl and not have to ask what her major is. Right, because it's even better talking to a 16-year-old when you're like 23. Then bro immediately follows this statement up with asking her,
"So, when you go to college, what subjects do you think you study?"
Heather's making out with her date in another room and wants to get back to the party, but he talks her into continuing, and she goes down on him. Why? I don't necessarily know. He wasn't aggressive. He was resistant, but he wasn't, pulling her down or anything. And you think with how dominant and vicious that Heather number 1 is, that she would, bitch, I don't want to do shit I don't want to do. Word. I said, let's get back to this party. But also, I think she did it because, probably just the pressure of it all and the fact that this guy is older than her, probably can open doors when she goes to that university. So she was like, let me be cool for a second. Veronica's still scribbling in this damn diary to her conscience saying she must stop Heather. In a back room, she's playing with fire and accidentally drops her match in her glass. And instead of going to the bathroom and rinsing it out, she throws it out of the window and it lands in a barrel with a bunch of paper. Heather is doing the look of shame in the bathroom mirror as she rinses her mouth out with dirty tap water and spits it out on the mirror. Brad comes to check on Veronica and starts getting touchy, and just when she stands up rejecting him, just about to begin a nice little monologue she's prepared, he cuts her off.
Save the speeches for Malcolm X. I just want to get laid.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Betty Finn was a real friend, Veronica writes, and I sold her out for a bunch of Swatch dogs and Diet Coke heads. Killing Heather would be like offing the Wicked Witch of the West. Or East, whatever. The fire's growing outside in the barrel and Veronica is in the hallway about to throw up. Heather pulls up asking, "What's your damage?" Cause Brad says you're being a real coos. Clearly not a girl's girl, like Veronica saying, "I don't feel good, I'm sick, like can we leave?" And Heather's like, haha, no. So guess what? Veronica hurls right in the hallway. Tomorrow, I'll be kissing her aerobicized ass. But tonight, let me dream of a world without Heather. A world where I am free.
You stupid fuck.
You goddamn bitch.
Hit her, Veronica. Heather is going on a whole tirade. You were nothing before you met me. You were playing Barbies with Betty Finn. You were a bluebird, a brownie, a Girl Scout cookie. I got you into a Remington party, and what's my thanks? It's on the hallway carpet. I got paid and puke.
Lick it up, baby. Lick it up.
She ate that up.
God, I love that line. It reminds me of Stand By Me. The protagonist in that film tells his friend group to shut up, and they do the all, you know, I don't shut up, I grow up. And when I look at you, I throw up.
And then your mother goes around the corner and she licks it up.
Heather tells Veronica Monday morning she's history. The memory comes back to Veronica while writing, and she angrily throws her diary at the window. Where not even a half second later, JD crawls through. What the hell? He apologizes, saying he has dreadful etiquette, and that he saw her croquet set up in the back, and asks if she's up for a match. Well, we cut, and as the camera's panning, we see their clothes have come off. Like, oh, babe, Veronica, I thought we were better than this. You know, not you sleeping with the school shooter the first day you met him. JD says that Heather Chandler is one bitch that deserves to die, but Veronica thinks killing her won't solve anything. Let's just be adults, grow up, and die. But before that, I'd like to see Heather Chandler puke her guts out. The following Saturday morning, the two sneak into Heather's home to make her a hangover cure. Veronica's in the fridge suggesting milk and orange juice, and JD suggests liquid drainer.
Wait a minute now.
This is the shit I'm talking about. Like, you have no idea who you just slept with. Veronica's like, LMFAO, you wild, stop playing, that stuff will kill her. Then suggests another lame idea of putting soup and Coca-Cola together. Meanwhile, JD grabs a glass and starts filling it with the liquid drainer. But Veronica points out how Heather wouldn't drink a blue liquid. So to hide the color, they put it in a white mug. But you can still see the color. You can see it over the top. Veronica grabs an identical mug and pours milk, suggesting that they cough up a phlegm globber. To no avail. They start making out and Veronica's hand reaches for the wrong mug. And JD notices too, but he obviously doesn't say anything because he's a murderer. And okay, sorry, but who the hell sleeps like this? You ain't cute, ho. I'm quite shocked at how passive and calm Heather is about her friend and this psycho that they just met the day before standing in her bedroom. Like, why is she not throwing a fit right now? I'd been like, what is... Y'all don't get out my room. JD says he whipped up a family recipe for her hangover. And like a smart girl, she says, I'm not gonna drink that piss. What'd you do? Put a phlegm globber in it? But oh baby, it's much worse. JD calls her chicken and she tells him to grow up. Calling me chicken doesn't mean I'm gonna drink your nasty ass concoction. And not even 5 seconds go by and the girl actually drinks it. Why would you... You know what? She deserves this. Sorry. After Heather downs the drink, her teeth and mouth turns blue as she starts choking before saying, corn nuts, and slamming face down into a glass table.
I just killed my best friend.
And your worst enemy.
Same difference.
Veronica is being very unserious, talking about, I can't believe this is my life now. I'm gonna have to send my SAT scores to San Quentin instead of Stanford. Like, this is not the time. This is not the time. They sit in silence thinking of what to do before JD gets a glance of some magazines and suggests they write a soup note. Yeah, soup note. We'll call it that. Veronica's already good at forging others' handwriting, so what the hell, right? In short, the note is basically saying that just because I'm beautiful and I'm popular doesn't mean that everything was peaches and cream, or peaches and corn nuts. During a school board meeting, the hippie teacher, Miss Fleming, suggests gathering everybody together in the cafeteria to, just talk and feel together.
Thank you, Miss Fleming. You call me when the shuttle lands.
Right, trying to hold hands and be kumbaya and shit. Now that Heather number 1 is dead, Heather number 3 is bulimic no more, enjoying her chicken wings while the ladies dress in the locker room. Even though, chicken wings in the locker room, food in the locker room period is crazy. In one of Veronica's classes, Miss Fleming passes around Heather's notes so everybody can read its pathetic beauty. And while they do this, she wants everyone to share their feelings of how Heather's soup has spurred on all of them. A kid named Peter says how he and Heather used to go out and she called him boring. But then he realized it's not that he was boring, it's that Heather was dissatisfied with her own life. On the news, Peter's talking to reporters. Heather number 3's been running a different station since the girl is on multiple channels. Courtney's on one channel saying how she always looked forward to seeing Heather in class. When we all know they low-key hated each other, mess. Heather Chandler is now more popular than ever. The couple are sitting in JD's living room, and as you see, Daddy has shmoney. This is the first scene he's introduced, and he is just as much of an asshole as his son is. JD suggests Veronica stay for dinner, but no, Mama Sawyer is making her favorite, spaghetti with lots of oregano. Oh, she's Italian. And JD trauma dump saying that, okay, yeah, the last time I saw my mother, who was peeking in a small picture underneath the weight rack, she was waving from a library window in Texas. Mommy issues. Heather's funeral's held in a church. One by one, her classmates come up praying next to her body. Heather number 2 is like, LOL, I'm not good with all this, but yeah, send her to heaven and all that. Peter says, Dear God, please make sure this never happens to me because I don't think I can handle suicides. And he wraps up his prayer with, give me a fast early acceptance into an Ivy League school and please let it be Harvard. Amen. Ram comes up saying, Jesus, God in heaven, why'd you have to kill such hot snatch? Okay. Heather number 3 says, I prayed for the death of Heather Chandler many times, and I felt bad every time I did it, but I kept doing it anyway.
Now I know you understood everything. Praise Jesus. Hallelujah.
Veronica is so awkward. She's like, hi. I mean, technically, I didn't kill Heather Chandler, but hey, who am I trying to kid, right? I just want my high school to be a nice place. Amen. Did that sound bitchy? When the camera cuts, Heather number 2 is dipping her hands in the holy water to add some moisture to her, oh my god, straight to hell. When she leaves with Veronica, she asks if she can go on a double date with her and Ram as Kurt's date. One of the geeks passing by steps on Kurt's shoes, so you know how they are. They have to resort to violence. Ram's got the poor guy in a chokehold. JD passes by on his bike, eyeing them, adding more attention. Very subtle for future events. Ram tells the geek to say, I like to suck big dicks.
You like to suck big dicks.
This is so stupid. He gets the geek to say it and he's like,
I like to suck big dicks. I can't get enough of them.
Veronica agrees to go on this double date with Heather number 2, Heather McNamara. If I didn't say their names already, it's Heather Chandler, Heather McNamara, and then Heather Duke. But I'm gonna still say 1, 2, 3 because it's just better and quicker for you. The boys take the girls cow tipping, and when they tip it over, the mud splashes on them. Boys. Ram is being gross and animalistic over Heather, assaulting her actually, and then Veronica just is like, all right, y'all, I'm out. He's ripping her clothes off, and Kurt says to Veronica before she goes up the hill, he's like, when I get that feeling, I need sexual healing. Said it with a straight face too. But he's way too drunk, so I mean, thank God he didn't force himself on. But still, help Heather. Why would you just leave her like that? Come on, Veronica. JD summons at the top of the hill because, as I said, he keeping tabs on her, and she tells JD that she tried to tell him she was doing this as a favor, but you know, he got on that motorcycle and vroom vroom. Another fucking Heather. Sorry, I'm feeling a little superior tonight. 7 schools in 7 states, and the only thing different is my locker combination. Damn.
Our love is God. Let's go get a slushie.
Mosby is talking with Peter, who's upset because his column is getting cramped into a what he calls Taco Bell coupon, while Heather Chandler's death is making the front page. Mosby asks Veronica if she has any scraps or artwork that Heather might have did while she was alive for them to put into a 2-page layout spread in memorial of Heather. And on top of that, they are going to put her unaliving note on the cover as... How tone deaf are we getting here? Are you serious? This is all leaving a bad taste in Veronica's mouth, and that wench Courtney chimes in saying, "Oh, like last night, Veronica?" What?
Bitch, let me tell you something. You shut the fuck up with your weak ass.
With your wrinkled ass, knee-low white skirt, and this ugly blue and green sweat. Yo, shorty, don't get hemmed up. Don't get folded up in front of these students. Veronica's like, excuse me? I don't get the joke here. And Courtney says Kurt told all of them about their little date. Peter tells Courtney to shut up, but Veronica's like, nah, I want to hear about what I did. What's tea? So Peter pulls her out in the hallway and tells Veronica that the rumor going around is that Kurt and Ram had a sword fight in Veronica's mouth.
Oh my god! I thought this was a classy party.
Huh? See, JD, get the gun. JD, get the gun. Get the gun. You know my girl got something up them blue striped sleeves. So that night, she calls Kurt, talking very sweetly, you know, saying all the right things. And she tells Kurt how much it's been a fantasy to have 2 guys at once. JD is at the end of the bed trying not to laugh, and Veronica tells Kurt to grab Ram and meet her in the woods behind the school at dawn. JD gives Mama a teeny James Bond pistol, and she questions why she's gotta write a soup of sides note when they're just gonna shoot them with blanks, right? And OJ is like, LOL, well, we're not gonna actually be using blanks this time. What? Veronica slams the gun down like my Bonnie and Clyde days are over. But what JD tells her is these bullets are tranquilizers gifted by his grandfather, who was in World War II. They pierce the skin enough to break the surface and cause a little blood, but no real damage. Before he says all of this, he says the bullets are called Ikalug, and I'll just slap the translation right here. I mean, if only Veronica had Google in '87. His supposed plan is to shoot the boys, they pass out unconscious, and when they wake up, it looks like they shot each other and they're the laughingstock of the school. Now, what kind of sense does that make? Veronica starts reading her forged note aloud. Ram and I died the day we realized we can never reveal our forbidden love to an uncaring and ununderstanding world. The joy we shared in each other's arms was greater than any touchdown, yet we were forced to live the lie of sexist, beer-guzzling jock assholes. JD's got a bag of homosexual artifacts that he dug up to plant at the scene. An issue of Stud Puppy, a candy dish, a Joan Crawford postcard, some mascara, and the one perfecto thing, mineral water. Damn, instead of my frozen grapes, I should have gotten a bottle of mineral water, put it on my bookshelf. At dawn, Veronica tucks the gun inside her shirt, but right when the boys pull up, and they came like behind her. So are you slow? Like did y'all not see her tuck that in her skirt? There's a long awkward silence till Ram is like, so should I just like whip it out? Or Veronica's made a circle on each side of the clearing, and when they get to the circle, strip. And on the count of 3, they can run towards her and rip her clothes off. Now what if they were like no and then just ran up on you? She starts counting 1, 2, and on 3, JD appears behind a tree, shooting Ram in the throat. Kurt goes running off and Veronica is just cracking up, but JD is pissed because she missed him completely. Her smile is wiped right off of her pretty little face after noticing how serious he is. He orders V not to move and he'll be back. Even though Kurt is a quarterback and you would expect him to have some legs on him, JD and those combat boots are no match. No match. And I don't know how the hell he managed to do this, but all the feet that Kurt had, tracked, he somehow did a full 360 and just runs back to Ram's body. JD screams at Veronica to shoot him and Kurt is finally taken out. 2 cops are sitting in the car hotboxing with blunts and one of them says, "Hey, I heard it that time."
Shit, let's roll!
The couple hear the cops and plant all the goodies before running. One cop calls in the bodies and the other chases after the killers. But he's too late because when he does catch up, they're in the car making out. Smart. The track star cop tells his partner the noise was just a bunny rabbit, and he found 2 kids making out in a car. The other pig says it's fine because he found all the answers by the jocks' bodies. And the cop who's laying by the bodies, before anybody says over and out, he says back into the walkie-talkie, he's like, "Hey, are they naked? I hate the police." The cops recognize Kurt Kelly and the linebacker, and after questioning why they take their lives, they see the mineral water and their answers are spelled out for them.
The quarterback buggering the linebacker.
Jesus H. Christ.
What a waste.
Oh, the humanity.
The couple wake in the station wagon. A few hours later, Veronica presses the button to heat up a cigarette burner, and instead of lighting her cigarette, she presses it against her hand as a punishment. JD uses that burn to light his cigarette. They're screaming at each other. JD's gaslighting Veronica into believing she wanted both of them dead, just as the other 2 Heathers approach, smiling at young love. A classmate comes up to both of them and says, "School's canceled because Kurt and Ram unalived themselves in a repressed homosexual soup of sides act. Rock on!" JD tells Veronica, football season is over and Kurt had nothing to offer to the school but date and AIDS jokes. Yeah, maybe so, but that's not justifying going out the way to kill somebody. At the funeral, which happens very quickly, they have another open casket and the boys' bodies lie right next to each other and they have these ridiculous football helmets on. This is a little silly, no? Mr. Kelly says, "I don't care that my son was a pansy. He's my own flesh and blood. My son is a homosexual and I love him.
I love my dead gay son."
JD makes a joke, and as Veronica kikis, a little girl turns around with tears in her eyes. Yeah, why are you laughing? You just took somebody's life, Veronica. That night, Veronica has a bottle of white wine and she's scribbling her journal. The most popular people in school are dead and everybody's sad. Soup of Sides gave Heather depth, Kurt a soul, and Ram a brain. Veronica doesn't know what it's given her, and she's got no control over herself when she's with JD.
Are we going to prom or to hell?
Both. At the school board meeting, Miss Fleming is pulling the "I told you so" about getting all the students together to talk about emotions. And the principal says, "Now I've seen a lot of bullshit. Angel dust, switchblades, sexually perverse photography exhibits involving tennis rackets. But this soup of sides thing, I guess it is more of Pauline's wavelength." He confirms Friday is when Fleming's, quote, love-in will be. Jump to Friday and Veronica walks in with yet another hit outfit. Come on, bitch. Just as Fleming makes her big announcement. This wench is talking about fusing back the school through togetherness. Like, what are you even saying to me right now? Then asks everybody to clasp hands to connect this cafeteria into one mighty circuit. The TV crew and reporter come in saying that we're ready whenever you are. Like, my God, this is so performative. And you know Heather number 3 is right there front and center for the kitty cameras. Peter tells Miss Fleming he's gonna need a VHS copy of all this by Monday for his Princeton application. And that was the last straw for Veronica. After school, she's at JD's house saying the whole thing was just fucking chaos. And JD is on the other side of the fence.
Today was great. Chaos is great. Chaos is what killed the dinosaurs, darling.
And he's saying how he's saying like them as a team, they scare people into not being a-holes. Our way is the way. No, it just sounds like you're trying to come up with an excuse to like kill people, but okay. Mr. Dean comes in saying he had another successful day and finally got a building ripped down, showing them footage of it on TV. This is part of a conflict line like that he brought up in the first scene that he's in, where he was in some legal battle about getting a building taken down and he won. Anyway, the corruption of this building on the TV is giving JD inspiration, and I think we all know where this is going. Where this is going. Veronica asks JD if he likes his father, and Jay says he's never given it much thought. He liked his mother, and though everyone told him her death was an accident, he believes she knew what she was doing. His mother walked into a building 2 minutes before his dad blew the place up, waved at JD, and boom, trauma. They have the radio on, and the host says, if I hear that big fun song one more time, I'm gonna... But the fans requested it, so here it is. And guess what the song is called?
Here it is, teenage suicide. Don't do it. Teenage
suicide. Don't do it. JD pulls out his gun and shoots the radio. Apparently this song is a spoof of the real song Don't Try Suicide, which was released in 1980 and was performed by Queen. Veronica's like, that's it, we're breaking up. And she gets up, but JD just throws her back on the couch like, hold on, pumpkin. You can't bring him back. So what are you tripping for? She tries to get up and leave again, but he just snatches her again and starts smoochy. They do this a few more times and she finally gets free. And to think there was a time when I actually thought you were cool. You can blow up all your toasters and kick rocks, buddy. Just don't come to school and don't mess with me. I kind of wish she would have did that. Oh my God, that would have been so funny. JD visits Heather number 3, who's sitting alone in an empty classroom, and he pulls out a photograph of Heather next to Martha Dunstock when they were kids. Blackmail, babes. Heather offers lunch money, but JD doesn't want her money. He wants her strength. Westerberg doesn't need mushy togetherness. It needs a strong leader. Heather Chandler was that leader, but she couldn't handle it, and I think you can. He makes a reference to Moby Dick, then gives her a gift before leaving. Heather's red scrunchie. Veronica visits Heather number 1's locker, reminiscing on memories, till number 3 rolls up behind her with the red scrunchie in her head and Patti LaBelle new attitude. Veronica invites Betty over for a game of croquet, but it gets interrupted when the Heathers pull up. Heather number 3 pop out with the Shaka Khan curls. Come on. The Sawyers are watching the news report of the cafeteria hippie get-together, and Veronica starts criticizing the speaker's choice of words about everybody breaking into an emotional outburst when we all know it was choreographed. And this is intercut with Martha putting her own soup note on her shirt, about to step into traffic and take her own life, wearing a big fun shirt. Veronica angrily shuts the TV off, raising her voice. Can't you see they're eating up the soup of sides with a spoon as if it's a cool thing to do? She's got a point. Teenagers want to be treated like human beings, not guinea pigs or bunnies. Her mother, by the way, who is the grandmother on Charmed, which is funny, Heather Duke is Piper, I believe that's her name. Wait, no, I know my bro would cuss me out if I got it wrong. Hold on. Prue. That was Prue, not Piper. Piper was the one who could freeze time, and then Phoebe's the younger one. But you know, anyway, her mother is like, when teenagers say they want to be treated like adults, it's because they are being treated like adults. Like, you, what's not click, like just through one ear and out the other. You're not listening. So Veronica says, yeah, well, I guess I picked the wrong time to be a human being.
You will live.
Oh, that's clever screenwriting right there. Number 3 bust up in their house saying, hi everybody, door was open. That's how you get shot. She lets Veronica know Martha belly flopped in front of a car with the note attached to her body. And she's laughing while saying this. Ain't shit funny. Like, I should pop you in the mouth. Veronica asks if Martha is dead, and Heather says no. That's the punchline. She's alive and in unstable condition. She calls Martha just another case of a geek trying to imitate the popular people of the school and failing miserably. Thank you. This fake ass gangsta's got an ice pack on her face like, girl, she did not hit you that hard. Relax. You lucky Veronica didn't punch you for the numerous things that you have done throughout this movie. Baby, y'all mouth is off the chain. Off the chain. Heather says how Kurt and Heather Chandler were a shock, but Martha isn't. I mean, just imagine what a better place this world would be if every Nimrod followed her cue. Guys, this is so low vibration. Veronica is just, baby doll, you're just sitting there letting this girl breathe air in your room. I can't. Oh my God, this is disgusting. This is like, what kind of, oh my God, like how bad does your life have to? They turn on the radio where there's a chatterbox style bit going on, and one of the callers turns out to be Heather McNamara, number 2. When the host picks up her call, she's like, hello, it's Heather. I mean, no, I'm not. I mean, yeah, it is. I mean, it's Madonna. Jeez, no, not that. It's like, girl. And after looking at her bird, she says, my name is Tweety. She trauma dumps. God has cursed me. The last guy I had sex with killed himself the next day. I'm failing math. My whole life is a mess. I was supposed to be captain of the cheerleading team. Veronica is listening with compassion, saying that Heather number 2 knows that they all listen to that radio station. And here number 3 is just all laughing and saying, oh my God, well, we'll crucify her. The next day someone writes, and by someone I mean Heather number 3. Poor little Heather on the chalkboard. Dear diary, Veronica begins. I've cut off Heather Chandler's head, and Heather Duke's head was sprouted back in its place like some mythological thing my 8th grade boyfriend would have known about. I've seen JD's way, I've seen Pauline Fleming's way, and nothing has changed. Heather McNamara storms out of the room into the bathroom where she's struggling to open a pill bottle and can't get it open because of the child protector caps. Veronica rushes out after her and makes it in the nick of time right when Heather gets the bottle open.
Heather! What are you trying to do, kill me? What are you trying to do, sleep?
Right. Veronica lets her know she's throwing her life away to become a statistic in the US fucking A today. And if you were happy every second of every day of your life, you would not be a human being. You would be a game show host. That's when McNamara suggests they leave school early and go buy shoes or do something lame like that. Like I said, I swear, Heather number 2 is the least sufferable of the 3. Heather number 3 burns her photographs with Martha as JD suggests since Heather Chandler did polls at lunchtime, she should do petitions. He brings up the group Big Fun, alluding to gathering signatures from their classmates to get them to perform at their prom. Heather's gone all around the school grounds getting everybody to sign and just bathes in her wickedness by the window. Look at this wench. Veronica walks up to her and Duke begins boasting about all the signatures she got. Even the ones who think the band Big Fun are a bunch of Euro-f***s. People love you, but I know you. Get her. Jennifer Forbes told me the petition she signed was to put a hot tub in the cafeteria. And Doug Hilton said, some people need convincing. Look, this is all JD's idea. So just sign the fucking petition.
Jealous much?
Ooh. Gotta be a little quicker than that, Veronica. Veronica's like, Heather, why can't you just be a friend? Why are you such a mega bitch? That's another one. I'm stealing everything out of this movie. And her excuse is because she can be. Right, because when Heather Chandler was alive, you weren't froggy enough to step up and take the throne. You a punk, if anything. JD once again, per usual, summons out the cut like a demon, and he asks Veronica if she wants to catch a movie and some miniature golf tonight. Date night, hey.
I was thinking more along the lines of slitting Heather Duke's wrist open, making it look like a suicide.
See, mama, now the cycle, the cycle just keeps going, right? You know, one second is wrong, and then another second you on JD demon time. I need you to pick one. He puts his arm around her saying, I knew you'd be back. But I don't think so. It's over, JD. Grow up. When Veronica gets home, her parents are sitting on the couch waiting for her and reveal her friend JD stopped by, saying that Veronica was soupy. And he's worried about her. He left her a paper envelope that reads, recognize the handwriting? In her room, a Barbie is hung from its neck with a Big Fun t-shirt on and short black hair. V curls into a bowl and takes a nap. Nightfall begins, and just outside her house, JD sneaks into her room, reciting lines from Moby Dick.
Do you actually think you're a rebel? You're not a rebel. You're fucking psychotic.
Well, yes, and I'm a little peed that it took you this long to figure that out, babe.
You say tomato, I say tomato.
He drags Veronica into Heather Duke's house, which is literally the same house as Heather Chandler.
Nag, 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 nag!
Girl, you need to leave them white boys alone. Veronica says Heather would never slit her wrist with the knife that's in his hands because it's filthy. She would make sure it's spotless. She stares into the reflection of the knife saying, tomorrow somebody's just gonna take her place, and that could be me. JD takes Veronica's hand, sloppily writing life sucks, then runs into Heather's room to finish her off. We're now at her funeral and everyone is wearing white with 3D glasses. This feels like a Nightmare on Elm Street scene. Veronica stands in the back with the red light behind her and her signature blue light shining on her. I live for this lighting. I love it. Heather Chandler approaches her in a different form saying, is this turnout weak or what? I had at least 70 more people at my funeral. Okay, but is this not a Elm Street reference? I mean, like the striped sweater and the lighting, I don't know. She tells Veronica her afterlife is so boring and she's tired of singing Kumbaya. And oh look, she made Veronica's favorite, spaghetti with lots of oregano. Heather grabs V's face and plunges it down into the pit before she wakes from her nightmare. And downstairs, her mother is yelling that dinner's ready. Dear Diary, this is my last entry, she writes. No one can stop JD, not the FBI, the CIA, or the PTA. He once told me the extreme always makes an impression. Well, now it's my turn. Let's see how the son of a bitch reacts to a soup of side he didn't perform himself. After JD loads up his gun and ladder to take care of Veronica, he comes in to see her body hanging from the ceiling. I know she did not. Veronica, wake up! And JD is like, I can't believe you did it. I was teasing. I loved you.
Sure was coming up here to kill you.
Yo. But first, he was gonna try and get her back with his amazing petition. It's a shame Veronica never got to see what their fellow students really signed. He rips off a piece of the petition, revealing the true text underneath that reads, we students of Westerberg High will die today. Our burning bodies will be the ultimate protest to a society that degrades us. Fuck you all. It's not very subtle, but neither is blowing up a whole school now, is it? He says when their school blows up tomorrow, it's gonna be the type of thing to infect a whole generation. A Woodstock for the 80s. Miss Sawyer yells for Veronica once more and JD dips. When she comes in the room to see her daughter's hanging body, the first thing out her mouth is, oh my God, I should have let you take that job at the mall. It was just that I was afraid of you coming home late at night. And then Veronica toots her head up and drops on her bed. How the hell did she even prop her body up like that? She has it wrapped around her waist, but I don't know. The same night, this crazy ass nigga is in his room making bombs. Like, oh my God, somebody stop this man. The students get ready, and when Veronica is in the hallway, Miss Flemings approaches, saying JD told her she unalived herself the following night. Veronica asks where he is, and Miss Hippie is like, never mind that, we need to talk, because choosing whether or not to take your own life is the most important decision a teenager can make.
Get a job.
No, really. Veronica turns around running so JD, who just walked into the building, doesn't see her. This dude's got a thick bag in his hands, and guys, it's bad enough, you know, bro walks around with a trench coat on, year in, day out, whatever. Did I say that? I don't know. Anyway, did I say that right? I don't think I did. But like, he got this bag now, and y'all nobody gonna, you know, side eye him? No? Just me? Cause I would've left. I don't play that. He goes in the bathroom stall and plants his first bomb, then more under the bleachers in the gym, and finally makes his way down to the boiler room. Even though school just began, they released everybody early from first period for a pep assembly. Veronica finds out from a classmate the boiler room sits underneath the gym. Cut to JD, where off-screen Veronica says, "Can I see your hall pass?" while pointing a gun right at his face.
I knew that loose was too loose. I mean, news too loose.
All right, Dr. Seuss. And Veronica, baby, I know you got a lot of nerves right now, but why are you standing like a foot away from him? Like, see, that's a pet peeve for me in movies. Do not stand right in front of somebody if you're holding a weapon that you can strike somebody with from afar, because guess what? They're just gonna smack it. V tells JD to put his hands behind his head, but he replies, "You didn't say Simon Says," then smacks the gun out her hands, knocking her unconscious. As Veronica comes back to conscious, OJ finishes setting up his bomb, starting the 2-minute and 20-second timer. Veronica grabs a fire extinguisher, trying to sneak up on him. Meanwhile, upstairs, everybody's going crazy, son. One of the stoners is under the bleachers, lighting a match for their joint, just totally ignoring the bomb right there attached to the leg. Like, well, we're already at 1 minute and 43 seconds, and Veronica swipes JD on the shoulder. They tussle on the ground. He gives her one final kiss, and she knees him in the balls, runs for the gun, and then he hides. Like, by now, all these bombs would have went. Y'all wrestling. This is WWE. When she finds him, this dude is just stalling. He's like, "You think just because you started this thing, you can end it?"
I'll kill you. I'll fucking kill you. I swear to God.
Me, but not yet, mama. We gotta make sure we set off the bombs, and we gotta save everybody first. Veronica's like, "How do I turn off the goddamn bomb?" And JD flips her off, but then Veronica bows that little teensy finger right off. And JD says, "Okay, maybe I am trying to kill everybody in the school because nobody loves me. But let's face it, the only place different social types can genuinely get along with each other is in heaven." Oh, girl, the bomb went off 5 minutes ago. We rapping. We sitting here rapping. Y'all yapping. He tells her to try the red button when there's 3 red buttons, pissing me off. JD jumps up, stabbing the midsection of the bomb, freezing it just at 4 seconds as Veronica blows him in the chest. The pep rally is still going crazy, son, and Veronica steps out the front door looking toe the fuck up. And guess what? JD comes out on the other side. "Still alive! You effed me up pretty bad, Veronica. You got power I didn't think you had." Then reveals a bomb attached to his body, starting it at 45 seconds. "The slate is clean," he says. LOL, that's funny because his name is Christian Slater. Clean slate. Get it? Veronica pulls out a cigarette to watch the show. The bomb ends up freezing, and JD's gotta, just smack it a few times before he holds his arms out. She is standing a little too close for me, a little too close for comfort. Like, he is, what? I would probably say 100 feet away from her. We cut inside the gymnasium and the bomb goes off. Veronica's entire body is smoked and she steps back inside looking like a zombie.
Veronica, you look like hell.
Yeah, I just got back.
Ah, that's history.
That's history. She snatches the red scrunchie and ties it around her head, telling Heather there's a new sheriff in town, then tells Martha her date for prom flaked out and asks if she isn't doing anything that night, then maybe they could rent some movies, pop some popcorn, and as the credits roll, we get the same song from the beginning of the film, except in a different tempo and more R&B and blues inspired.
Will I be pretty? Will I be rich?
They say comedy is drama in disguise, and though a lot of characters in this film seem to be over the top in a naturally cruel way, that's actually how the world is. We know people who remind us of every single Heather. We know a Miss Fleming. We know a Kurt and a Ram. And some of us even know a Jason Dean, trench coat and all. But I want to start with Veronica Sawyer because I think that she is such a well-rounded character. I think the film does a fantastic job of showing the push and the pull and the resistance of Veronica being between teen rebellion as well as understanding morality. She's dragged into JD's sick Bonnie and Clyde fantasy and she entertains it for a while. Throughout, we see Baby Doll wants to be bad and be wild, but she doesn't necessarily want blood on her hands. Dismantling toxic systems doesn't necessarily mean we have to totally annihilate them, well, at least in JD's way. And Veronica was very vocal about the performative grief bullshit going on even before wokeness was a thing. I mean, come on now. And I wouldn't even call Veronica a girl boss. I would call her a girl trying to figure it out. She's a teenager, for Christ's sake. She had to learn to reject the Heathers' tyranny and JD's psychotic way of life. Her redemption arc is very warranted because it was a gradual buildup and we saw cracks along the way, the dilemma. The film uses color very tastefully. The three colors of the Heathers, red, yellow, and green. Heather number 1 obviously being red, power, passion, fire, revolution, Satan. I don't like how people always put the color red with the devil. I mean, first off, bro doesn't even look like that. That's a caricature. Lucifer was described as being beautiful. So why are we, every time we see red, we're like, ah, devil, red horns, monster. I don't know. That's a conversation for another day. Because when I see red, I see more so like, if not love or passion, more so just leadership and power. Heather McNamara is yellow. Coincidence that she's the least aggravating Heather? I think not. What do we put with yellow? Positivity, energy, happiness. But I'd say McNamara's yellow is almost like a caution sign. In a middle ground similar to Veronica, just needing to find her own voice. And Heather Duke wearing green. We all know what this means. Jealous ass hoe.
Right.
Hungry, envious, calm, stable, calculating, waiting for the right time to douse herself in that cherry red passion and take the throne for herself. I could have worded the cherry passion thing a little bit better, but you get the point. Then there's Veronica's aesthetic, which is blue. On one hand, it's melancholy, it's moody, but it's also depth and wisdom, loyalty. Loyalty like a uniform. Her loyalty to the Heathers and JD at separate points in time. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but Heather Chandler's death by liquid drainer being the color blue did not go unnoticed to me. I think it just ties into Veronica feeling guilt for killing her when JD was the one who actually got the ball going for not telling her that she picked up the wrong cup. But although we've got candy-colored, preppy visuals, the subject matter is extremely dark and morbid. What a crazy juxtaposition. The film uses a lot of visual irony, taking style and using it to mask the horror underneath, almost making look fashionable, which was the driving force for all the riots. Winona Ryder's agent had begged her not to do this movie, stating that her career would be over. And you know the parents were crashing out. They felt like it was glorifying unaliving yourself, blah blah. I think that we are not giving teens enough credit. I think they can get the message of what the film is saying. Yeah. Plus, it's rated R. I mean, a child shouldn't be in the theater anyway. The same week Winona Ryder received the script, apparently a student from her high school took his own life, which only inspired her more to do the film. And speaking of self-termination, Jeremy Applegate, who plays Peter, says in one scene when praying over Heather's body that he could never handle soup of sides. And, well, in real life, on March 23rd, 2000, at the age of 34, Jeremy unfortunately took his own life. It's extremely sad. And while not the same, Kim Walker, Heather #1, has a line at the beginning of the film where she says,
"Did you have a brain tumor for breakfast?"
And she unfortunately died of a brain tumor on March 6, 2001 at the age of 32. Like, oh my god, this is spooky. Rest in peace to both of them. Christian Slater, playing JD a little too convincing, has had a lot of controversy over the years. In '94, he was arrested after boarding a commercial plane with a gun in his baggage, which resulted in 3 days community service. He was convicted of punching his girlfriend, Michelle Jonas, and assaulting a police officer under the influence of heroin, cocaine, and alcohol. Like, god damn. And did I mention who Christian Slater's performance of JD is inspired by? Take a guess. Jack Nicholson. Christian sent Jack Nicholson a letter. He wrote him a letter, sent it, and he asked him to watch the film because, you know, I'm just my performance based off you need real inspiration for me, bro. And Jack never got back to damn, Jack. But I mean, you kind of called the dude psychotic because, you know, it's not like you said, oh the way you act. Well, I mean, we don't know how he phrased it within the letter, but, you know, if you're saying that you are basing this psychopath off of a person, you're kind of calling them that, you know what I'm trying to say. I'm like, that maybe that played into it. Maybe he didn't have an interest in it. I don't know. And you know what? Since we've said his name this many times, I'm surprised he hasn't conjured in my room. Jason Dean. I mean, trauma central, right? Because since life sucks, that means we should burn it down. And if he can't be happy, then why should everyone else be? All the homie needed was some therapy, some medication, and a compassionate and caring father. But he ain't get that. His tortured, misunderstood bad boy persona is just a straight up blanket to hide the fact that this dude is a fucking psychopath. Now, he's got the ability to empathize, which gives him reason for the tendency to kill those who deserve it and bring some justice to the victims. But the emotional capacity to feel that empathy for himself is lacking. He's the poster child for charismatic manipulation. He drags Veronica into his world in which he doesn't want to change, as he said. No, this wants to completely destroy it. He's the perfect stand-in for toxic masculinity, incel culture, and the glamorization of destructive men in media, which is actually kind of a topic I would love to explore. If you want a video on that, let me know. Let's talk about the boys. But yeah, bro weaponizes romanticization of rebellion, tapping into Veronica's frustration with high school hell, but he kind of just pushes it to these murderous idealisms. Like, hey babe, why don't we just kill these horrible people and then call it justice? That ain't how it works. Nino thinks he's above it all, but really he's a narcissist with a god complex. Just realized I completely did not bring up Heathers the musical like in this video at all, and that is because I already know the comment's gonna be coming. That is because I have not seen it, so I can't really comment on it. But the one thing I can say about the musical, it's still on the list. Like I'm gonna watch it eventually, but one thing I can say about it is I was meant to be yours. We were meant to be one. Word, bop, bop, bop. Love that song. That is a great song. I do know that one. That's the only one I know. Ooh. Next. I don't think I talked about the glorification of unaliving yourself yet, so let's move on to that, because I think that still applies today. I mean, whenever celebrities pass away, all of a sudden, people come out, the haters come out the woodwork, streaming the music, watching the films, making themselves part of the conversation for the internet. It's very, very performative. It's almost as if you're worth more, or if your value goes up when you're gone, which kind of plays into the message of the film. The Kurt and Ram kill/unalive prank touches on another big irony with this movie: gay teenagers having a very high soup of sides rate. I'm not throwing numbers or percentages around because they are constantly changing, but I mean, come on, bruv. Although these statistics are practically common knowledge in recent years since the movie came out, back in 1987 when Daniel Waters was writing this, it was not something talked about. After Heather Chandler's death, when school's back up, Veronica's father asks,
So, what was the first day after Heather's suicide like?
You know, instead of just simply asking how her day was, like, why did you have to word it like that? Then the mother just completely switches the topic and she brings up JD and prom, and so out of touch. Just like crime cases, adults love to fetishize and eat it up. They had their whole lives ahead of them. They were gonna be great. Kiss my ass. You're all sick and you're all actors. The characters and teachers in this film are caricatures, either emotionally distant or trying too hard to connect. It's real as hell, actually. I mean, their failure to understand real teen issues only fuels the chaos even more. But times have changed with the internet. I'd argue for the worse. Much worse. My generation, Generation Z, I don't like saying this, but we have so many mental health problems. Ooh. Every generation does. You know, the older you go down the line, the more, well, I should say the less that this topic was really taken seriously at all. But, how do I say this? I said it in my Neon Demon video. Social media has caused all of us to do the #1 worst thing that you can ever do to yourself, which is comparing yourself to other people. And although we are hyper aware of it while dealing with it, I would also say that, some of y'all are not ready for that. Y'all are not ready for that conversation. Should I say this? Actually, I think I will, because I don't fucking care. There is a large portion of people in this generation who I feel purposely make themselves sad. Somebody will go through the most simplest or minor inconvenience and then go on Snapchat, go on Twitter talking about you're depressed. Like, what? No, babe, you haven't seen depression. I hate how that word is always thrown around like it's nothing. That shit is serious. And it ties into this movie. It's a trend, guys. It's a trend. Heather still holds weight in my opinion, you know, aside from the fact that when it came out in 87, it was so refreshing. The aesthetic and the subject matter blended together was just so, like I said, it was just a great juxtaposition. Writer Daniel Waters said in an interview, I did come up with this crazy cockamamie Heathers 2, where Veronica becomes a page for a senator named Heather, played by Meryl Streep. And in the end, she assassinates the president and gets away with it. And it's a good thing. Winona Ryder has heavily supported the idea for a sequel, but as of 2025, nothing has came of it. The original screenplay had a different ending where Veronica kills JD by shooting him, then straps the bomb, which was going to be a much larger and more complicated piece of equipment, described as being a cylinder as large as a television set, to herself, blowing up as JD does in the filmed ending. ending. Then the film was gonna end in this like eerie prom sequence, tying into JD's assertion that the only way that everybody can get along with each other is in heaven. The prom was gonna have students dancing within their social cliques, then they switch partners and odd pairings like metalheads dancing with heathers, then one of the jocks gets a prom picture taken with a tipped cow, punch being served there was gonna be the liquid drainer, and Martha Dunstock was gonna be on stage singing as entertainment. This was intended to be shot and to be the actual ending, but studio was like, it's a little too dark, babes, a little too dark. Then another alternate ending, which is, I would argue, darker than the one I just told you. This alternate ending was gonna be Martha Dunstock stabbing Veronica, and like she's like screaming, "F you, Heather, F you, Heather." And Veronica's lying on the ground with the knife in her stomach, and she's like, "My name's not Heather, my name's not Heather." Ooh, now that is a dark ending right there. The era of high school is so complicated. It's dramatic. It can just be a complete shit show you shield yourself off from and get by, or you can take it as a trial, going through the motions of slipping into adolescence. Heathers has the perfect amount of edge and bite. The dark humor works for me. I find this movie extremely funny. Like, this is my type of humor, but obviously my type of humor is not YouTube friendly, but also just this style of black comedy, dark comedy is not for everyone. But hey, I don't know, go watch Mean Girls, go watch Clueless. There's nothing wrong with those movies, by the way, but Heathers takes it further. It's not about fitting in, it's about living or dying, be that socially and literally. And as a boy who loves horror films, that little pinch of murder to the story adds so much flavor. What's your take on Heathers? Does the dark humor still hit home for you? Do you have any memories with this film? Share your story and connection down below. I'll be looking forward to reading it. If you're new here, consider subscribing. We talk about horror and horror. No, I'm kidding. Well, actually, I'm not. But, we also talk about cult films. I tend to yap about movies that I loved as a kid. And I also like to talk about films that I feel like people aren't really giving enough love. It's kind of became my little thing, cult films. But yeah, give your homie a like. It helps me out a lot. And tickle that notification bell so you know whenever I post a new video. Until next time, my friends. And I'm saying this with my entire chest, my entire heart this time. Listen. Please take care of your mind, take care of your body, and take care of your spirit.